These are the most marketable subject combinations for teachers in Kenya. Are you joining university at this time and you are going to do education course? Or are you currently in the university and you are doing education course? These are the subject combinations that you should select because they are the most marketable. The marketability of subject combinations depends on TSC recruitment trends, teacher shortages, schools' demands, and curriculum needs. Remember that I am making this video as a teacher who has been in school for quite some time, and therefore I know what the school's demands, I know what the curriculum needs, I know the subject combinations which have shortage of teachers, and I know how TSC recruit teachers because I have attended TSC interviews and verification of documents before. I am going to group the marketability in three groups. We have the most marketable, then moderately marketable, and then least marketable. These are the most marketable subject combinations for teachers in Kenya. Combination number 1, maths, physics. Maths, physics. Maths physics is the most marketable subject combination for teachers in Kenya. If you are doing education science, consider doing mathematics and physics. And I will assure you that you will get a job immediately you complete your course period. If there is a combination that is in high demand, it is mathematics and physics because we have shortage of teachers who can teach maths physics. Therefore, if you select maths physics, you will get a job. Okay, this is a combination that is in high demand. The second combination that is most marketable is maths chem. Maths chem. If you are doing education science, you can also consider maths chem. This is a combination that is marketable. It is in high demand. So if you select maths chem, you will also get a job after you complete your course period. It is a combination which is in high demand. Maths and chemistry. It is a good combination. Combination number 3 that is most marketable is maths computer. Maths computer. We know that we are changing our curriculum from 844 to CBC. And in CBC, one of the core values of CBC is digital literacy. And digital literacy is just ICT. Therefore, teachers who have done computer in university are in high demand. This is a combination that is rising at a high rate. Therefore, you can also consider mathematics and computer if you are doing education course. You will get a job immediately after you complete your course period. The fourth combination that is most marketable is biology agriculture. Biology agriculture. This is another combination that is most marketable. Biology and agriculture. This is a combination that you can consider selecting in the university if you are doing education course. It is a combination that is in high demand, especially in rural and extra-county schools. It is a good combination that you can consider. It is always in high demand. The last combination that is most marketable is biology chemistry. Biology chemistry. This is a most common combination, but although it is most common, it is always in high demand. Therefore, it is a combination that you can consider. Biology chemistry, being a science, is a good combination. Therefore, if you are doing education science and you performed well in biology and chemistry, you can consider selecting biochem. it will give you a job after you complete your course period. Remember that we are changing our education system from 844 to CBE, competency-based education, which has the CBC, competency-based curriculum. And in CBE, the government is planning that 65% of runners in senior school have to take the STEM pathway. That is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And the fact that the government wants 65% of runners in senior school to take the STEM pathway simply means that they need a lot of teachers, both in junior school and senior school, who can teach the STEM related subjects. Therefore, if you are doing education science, you are doing the right thing. Education science is the most marketable education course that we have in Kenya. And these subject combinations are the most marketable for teachers in Kenya. That is why you have seen that in the ongoing JS internship application for teachers, the TSC wants to employ science teachers. If you are doing education science in the university, you are in the right path. Next, which are the moderately marketable subject combinations for teachers in Kenya? Combination number 1, maths business. Maths business. Maths business is also a good combination. When mathematics is stroked with a science, it is regarded as education science. But when mathematics is stroked with business, it is regarded as education arts. Maths business is a combination that is always in high demand, especially in day school. It is a good combination. Combination number 2 that is moderately marketable is English literature. English literature. We all know that English is always a compulsory subject, but the problem with English literature combination is that we have a lot of teachers who can teach English literature. It is funded. That is why it is not in the most marketable group. It is in the moderately marketable. Although all students must do English, teachers who can teach English are too many. This combination is flooded. Okay. Combination number 3 that is moderately marketable is Kiswahili history. We all know that Kiswahili is also a compulsory subject. However, the teachers who can teach Kiswahili history are too many. The fact that all students must do Kiswahili because it is a compulsory subject, the teachers who can teach Kiswahili and history are too many. This combination is flooded, and that is why it is not in the group of most marketable because it is flooded. The fourth combination that is moderately marketable is Kiswahili CRE. Kiswahili is a compulsory subject. All students in the country must do Kiswahili. But CRE is not a compulsory subject. It is optional. Also, the teachers who can teach Kiswahili and CRE are too many in the country. It is flooded. That is why it is not in the group of most marketable, but it is in the group of moderately marketable because Kiswahili is a compulsory subject. But the reason as to why it is not the most marketable is because Kiswahili CRE is flooded. We have a lot of teachers who can teach Kiswahili and CRE. The last combination that is in the moderately marketable group is geography business. geo business. This is a combination that is marketable, especially in school that deals with commerce. It is not most marketable combination. Although it is a good combination, it falls in the group of moderately marketable and not in the most marketable. Okay, but geo business is a good combination, but it is not most marketable. Okay, so these are the subject combinations that are moderately marketable. We have maths business, English literature, Kiswahili history, Kiswahili CRE, and geo business. Okay, these are education arts subjects. Next, which are the least marketable subject combinations? These least marketable subject combinations can also be referred to as specialized market. Combination number 1, special needs education stroke any subject. Special needs education stroke any subject. We all know that special needs education is a good degree course to study in the university. But you need to ask yourself, how many schools in Kenya offer special needs education? We know that the schools that offer special needs education in Kenya are too few compared to the other schools. Therefore, it is not a most marketable combination. It falls under the least marketable combination. Combination number 2 that is least marketable is French stroke any subject. French stroke any subject. You also need to ask yourself, how many schools in Kenya teach French? Very few. We can just say the big schools and the private schools. Maybe the national schools, the extra county schools. Those are the ones who teach French subject. And not all of them, just few schools. And then some few private schools. So, French stroke any subject is not a marketable combination. It falls under the least marketable group. The third combination that is least marketable is German stroke any subject. German stroke any subject. Again, how many schools in Kenya teach Germans? Very few. We can just say the big schools and some private schools. Those national schools, extra county schools, we have some of them who teach German and some few private schools. So it is not a marketable combination. That is why it falls in the least marketable group. The fourth combination that is least marketable is history CRE. History and CRE are optional subjects. And also, it is a subject combination that has a lot of teachers. It is flooded. Before you get a job, if you are a teacher of history and CRE, you will struggle. It falls under the least marketable group. The last combination that is least marketable is technical subjects. Technical subjects. Technical subjects are subjects like woodwork, metalwork, electricity, aviation, home science. Now, you need to ask yourself, how many schools in Kenya teach woodwork? How many schools teach metalwork? How many schools teach aviation? How many schools teach electricity? How many schools teach home science? Very few. That is why it is not in the most marketable or in the moderately marketable group. However, I want to say this, that in CBE, technical subjects will be in high demand. The demand for technical subjects is rising at a very high rate, but it has not yet reached there to the most marketable. However, in the coming few years, technical subjects will be one of the most marketable subject combinations. I want to summarize and say this, that these are the most marketable subject combinations that you should select in the university if you are doing education course. And we have seen that the most marketable subject combinations are maths physics, maths chem, maths computer, biology agriculture, and biology chemistry. Therefore, if you are doing education science, you are on the safe side. And then these are the moderately marketable subject combinations: maths, business, English literature, Kiswahili history, Kiswahili CRE, and geo business. And then these are the least marketable subject combinations. We call them specialized market. They are not that marketable. They are special needs education stroke in a subject, French stroke in a subject, German stroke in a subject, history, CRE, and technical subjects. I will conclude and say this, that mathematics and sciences are the most marketable subject combinations for teachers in Kenya. Those who are in the university and they are doing education science, you are on the safe side. Mathematics teachers and science teachers, kazi iko. This is Teacher Ezekiel. Consider subscribing and turn on the notification bell. Like this video, share to your friends, leave comments, and I will highly appreciate. Thank you. We meet again in another video.